If you were a makeup girly in any way in the early 2010s, you absolutely had this palette. For those of us crusty millennial goblins who still have our 10-plus-year-old palettes, Urban Decay re-released it, and everybody is dying to know whether or not the colors are actually the same in the new one. And since I'm the queen of never throwing anything away, let's find out. I'm gonna do my signature go-to eye look from about 2012. On this eye, I'm gonna use the new palette. Over here is gonna be the original. Actually, I completely used up the shade Naked in the old one, so I think I'm gonna have to use the new one for both eyes on this one. This was always my base shade. Next is Virgin. This is the original highlighter for me. I went really heavy under the brow bone. Original Virgin in the palette looks cooler, and that is the case with a lot of the colors. Once it's on, it looks pretty much the same. I do think, look at the difference in the shimmer of the original versus the new. This one feels more iridescent-y. Oh yeah, that's a pretty noticeable difference, I think. Next, I would usually go in with Smog, and I think this color actually looks the most different. As you can tell, the new one, which is on top, is much warmer toned than the old one. This just seems to be a trend in makeup. Like, cool tones don't really exist. Everything is warmer toned now. I need to do a little blending. We know back in those days, we always had to do the crease on the corner. So for me, that was always gonna be Dark Horse. I do think that this shade looks very similar. I swore by this technique for like a decade. It was like the only way I knew how to do eyeshadow. Oh my God. Disclaimer, I'm doing this completely in my phone and I'm really not trying to make it look good, but I do think that the new ones blend a little bit better than the old ones. And my favorite thing to do was take Half Baked along the bottom lash line. Original versus new Half Baked. Again, original's a little bit cooler. I look crazy, and I used to go to Starbucks at like 8 a.m. like this. Eyeliner, I would do an angled brush with Creep to do kind of like a winged situation. I think the new one applies a little bit nicer. Like, you can see this is a little bit messier. This one on very smoothly. Just for fun, let's finish with a little sidecar. This has always been one of my favorite shades. It's super glittery. Final look, here is the original Naked palette, and this is the new one. I mean, exactly what it sounds like. This is truly an updated version of this. To me, these two looks are the same, except for this is the 2010s version of this. The original formula is a little bit more pigmented. I'd say a lot of the shades, maybe not all of them, are cooler toned. The new one, just like makeup trends today, is a little bit more subtle. The colors are generally warmer, and this one was much easier to blend. You can see this just looks more natural, which again mirrors the way that we're wearing makeup now compared to in 2012 when I bought this guy. They are really, really similar. I'm happy with the new one, but I don't know, you guys. I don't think I'm gonna be throwing away my original, at least not yet.